Shabbat Shalom. I am Rabbi Lauren Werber at Congregation Beth Adam in Cincinnati, and we are thrilled to have you joining us for our Shabbat service. Whether you are a local member or a member from somewhere else in the country or the world, or someone just exploring Beth Adam, Judaism, humanistic Judaism, or Shabbat, we're glad for you to join us for this Shabbat experience. This is, of course, Thanksgiving weekend, so we will be reflecting on thankfulness throughout our service. In that spirit, we begin this Shabbat with words of gratitude for this day and for every day, for the world around us, created in 6 days according to the myth in Torah, created anew every day according to the perspective in Talmud, still being created at all times by us through our daily actions. For this day, for this world, we give thanks. For the people embracing us, for our congregational community here together across space, for our families extending their care, for our friends bringing us joy, for those we love and those who love us, we give thanks. For this Shabbat, for the opportunity to stop, to breathe, to reflect, for the gratitude and peacefulness that come on the wings of Shabbat, for the taste of a better world that we savor at this time every week, for Shabbat and its rejuvenating power, we give thanks. Hine matov, how good it is for us to be together in this way, giving thanks and celebrating Shabbat.
הנה מה טוב ומנאי, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנאי, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה הנה מה טוב ומנאי, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנאי, שבת אחים גם יחד.
We continue by preparing to light our Shabbat candles. A blessing for light, for the light of dawn and dusk, for sunrises and sunsets, for the light of love and friendship, for the communities we build and nurture, for the light of knowledge and truth, for the wisdom we seek and share, for the light of goodness and compassion, for the deeds we do and the care we receive, for the light of restoration and peace, for the gift of Shabbat and the light it brings. Baruch ha'or ba'olam, blessed is the light within the world. Baruch ha'or ba'adam, blessed is the light within each person. Baruch ha'or ba'Shabbat, blessed is the light of Shabbat. In the glow of the Shabbat candles, we turn to words adapted from Rabbi Nachman of Breslov that have always resonated at Beth Adam. They are words of aspiration, but they are rooted deep in gratitude for the world of which we are a part. May I discover the ability to feel the pain of others, work for others, among others, and there come to feel a part of that to which I belong. May I discover the ability to be alone so that I can go out of doors each day among the flowers and trees, among the birds and all that live beneath the sky of stars and planets, and there come to feel a part of that to which I belong. May I discover the ability to sit in silence so that I may hear not the voice of others, but my own voice, the beat of my heart, the sound of my breath, the utterance of my soul, and here come to feel a part of that to which I belong. Grateful for our place in the natural world and our belonging in our community and communities. We take a moment to look with hope toward the better world that we may create together. Na'aseh shalom. We will make peace. Modim anachnu. And we are grateful for the opportunity.
Na'aseh shalom ba'olam. Na'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. V'yimaru shalom. Na'aseh shalom. Na'aseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Na'aseh shalom. Na'aseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Na'aseh shalom. Na'aseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Na'aseh shalom. Na'aseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Na'aseh shalom. Na'aseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam.
We take a few moments now to give thanks for those we've loved and lost. These words are adapted from a poem by David Harkins. We will shed tears because they are gone, but we can also smile because they lived. We may close our eyes and hope that they will come back, but we can also open our eyes and see all that they have left. Our hearts may feel empty because we can't see them, but we can also be full of the love that we shared. We may turn our backs on tomorrow and live yesterday, but we can also be happy for tomorrow because of yesterday. We may remember them and only that they are gone, but we can also cherish their memory and let it live on. We may cry and close our minds, feel empty and turn our backs, but we can also celebrate their lives, smile, open our eyes, love as we remember. Ein bidei hamada takoach la korma shetamun balev. Death cannot take that which is locked in our hearts. With our tears in our sorrow, we remember. With our courage and our strength, we do not forget. Acts of kindness, deeds of courage will remain. Beauty created, wisdom shared is not lost. With our tears in our sorrow, we remember. Im dema'ot be'enenu, be'et evlenu, nishmor al zecher ahuvenu. With our tears in our sorrow, we remember. Zecher tzadik livracha. May the memory of good people bless our days. We turn now to a chance to continue a conversation that began last week. Last week, we heard the first part of a conversation with my friend and colleague, Reverend Kathy Ketchum. Reverend Ketchum is recently retired from ministry at Community of Faith United Church of Christ in Elyria, Ohio, and she remains a source of love and wisdom and care in my life. Here is the second part of our conversation, in which she offers a powerful message of hope for all of us. I'm going to lighten things up. I'm going to ask you another question.
Okay.
Who's playing each of us in the movie?
Oh, well, Sandra Bullock is, I mean, you can
have her. You can have her.
No. She's too young. I'd have to get, like, I don't know, some cool old actress. Who would that be? Jane Fonda. She's in good shape. I like that she's thin and fit.
I picked Jane Katzmarek for you. From Malcolm in the Middle. That was my pick.
That's funny. Okay.
She's sassy.
Good. Yeah, that's awesome.
Good. I didn't have me as Sandra Bullock, but I won't be insulted.
Yeah, that's probably, that was off the cuff. I would have to really give it some thought. If I were really casting, I'd have to give it some thought.
Wait, you said Jane Fonda. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. You're up.
Well, thank you for making that lighter. So I brought a token gift for Lauren, and it was a compass because she's always kind of on the move. So, and I want to tell you too, she was on a bike ride one day, and she had to be someplace, and she didn't have time to go home to take a shower. So she called and said, honestly, out of the blue, and said, would it be? No, it wasn't even a call. It was a text, which is even weirder. And she texted and said, I know this is kind of weird, but would it be okay if I came over to your house and took a shower? How are you going to say no? No, you can't. I said, of course, that'd be fine. But I was, who does that? So here's my question. How important is riding still to you? And have you found a place to ride in Cincinnati?
That's a very nice question. I want to clarify, I was out on an all-day ride, but I had a fundraiser to go to in the evening, and Kathy and I live 45 minutes from each other, and the ride and the fundraiser were closer to her. So this was completely reasonable, right? Completely reasonable.
It was reasonable. It was just hilarious. It was just funny. And by the way, she came in, took a shower, said, sorry, I got to run, and left. Like there wasn't even really any chit chat. Usually if you're going to do something intimate, like take a shower at a friend's house, you might, 5 minutes, but she was in a rush because she had to go to this fundraiser. So she came in, took a shower, and left.
There were 5 minutes before while I caught my breath, but that was about it. Yes.
It was hilarious.
So I am very
honestly, well, and I want to tell you really quick, it was really, I'm making fun of you kind of, but it was so, it was, I really felt like only a really good friend would ask that. So it really blessed me that you ask. And I even though I'm kind of, ribbon yet. I was honored that you would think enough of me to ask to take a shower at my
To
house
take a shower.
without really very much conversation. Okay, back to
I
you.
had forgotten about that, but I did. That was accurate. I did that. You actually asked a deeper question than you thought. So prior to getting ready for this move and then moving my kids and moving my parents in different directions, I was riding pretty much 6 days a week, and I was doing a long ride any weekend I could. And then all this happened and I had to cut back just because of time. And there was a period where I really wasn't riding, and now I'm trying to bring it back in. And it's forced me to accept that if I have time for a 7-mile ride and that's not an even number that I approve as a long enough ride, that's okay, right? So I tend to try to do like a 12-mile daily ride, and to have a set mileage goal on a weekend, or and I've had to learn that whatever you can do is enough, and it's worth doing it. So if it's a ride to get money out of the ATM and that's a 3.5-mile ride, that's okay, because you're outside and you're doing it. So I'm hoping to build back up closer to where I was, and we're still getting some of those rides in, but it's been a really good lesson in that it doesn't have to be all or nothing.
That's a good lesson to learn.
It's a hard lesson for some of us, a really hard lesson. But it is important. I mean, it's important to me. I'm hoping to do some congregational rides as well. So for those of you who ride,
fun.
We have here, people here call it the Loveland Bike Trail, but in fact, it's the trail that runs from Cleveland to Cincinnati. So probably in Cincinnati, they say it runs from Cincinnati to Cleveland, but since most of my life in Cleveland. And there's this silly tradition where you start in one city, you start at Lake Erie and you dip your back wheel in the water in Lake Erie, and you go down to the river and the Ohio River and dip the front wheel in the Ohio River.
That's a cool thing.
Right? It is. So we have that
cool
trail, which is wonderful. Street riding is more complicated in Cincinnati, but we're figuring that out as well. So that was nice of you to ask. How serious do I want to? We'll do one or two more questions. Do you have a favorite either Bible verse or religious teaching, or it doesn't have to be, it could be a modern person, but some teaching that's kind of guiding you these days, whether it's making you, whether it's calming or motivating or enlightening, but something that's grounding you in some way?
Mm-hmm. It is, the overarching theme is universal, but the example is uniquely Christian. I was in a theology class, and I was a senior, and I took the class. It was kind of a basic level theology class, but I was on an academic scholarship, and I needed an A to keep my grade point up because I have a lot of integrity. And so I took this theology class to get the A. So I was sitting at the back of the room because I was, a lot smarter than most of the people in the class. And this professor comes in one day. I might have told you this story, Lauren. He comes in one day and he says, okay, so what does Easter mean? Now, remember, I was in Atlanta, so there's a lot of Southerners, a lot of Southern Baptists, men, who came to the school because it was a seminary that was close. So one of the guys in the front row says, well, it means that Jesus, they crucified Jesus, they put him in a tomb, put a great big stone in front of him, 2 angels came, rolled the stone away, and Jesus was resurrected, and we have eternal life. And the professor said, well, thank you, Billy Don. But I don't know why they have 2 names, but they do. But you told me what happened, but you didn't tell me what it means. So somebody else, raises his hand and says, well, it means that when we accept Jesus Christ, our personal Lord and Savior, and when we die, we go to heaven, we see our loved ones, and there's mom, and peepaw, we see everybody, and, we have whatever. And he said, well, the professor said, well, you're telling me it means something after you die, but what does it mean now? Because Jesus never really said or did anything that you're supposed to hold on to it, put it in your pocket and use it later. When he taught, he was teaching people things that mattered now. So now I'm afraid he's going to call on me because I don't make any eye contact, and I don't know, make a grocery list or something. And he said, if you don't this is the thing you asked me. This is it. He said, if you don't know this, you really don't have any good news to preach. What the resurrection means, or what Easter means, is after every crucifixion, there comes a resurrection. Jesus didn't raise himself from the dead. He was dead. Like, he didn't claw his way out of the tomb, whatever. In our tradition, God reached into the darkness and picked him up and shook him off and set him on his feet and set him on his way. Now, he's still wounded. I mean, he has scars, but he's back. So the lesson of Easter is, after every crucifixion, there comes a resurrection. It's the promise of the gospel. So I have chosen to apply that overarching theme to today. I look around, and it seems there are crucifixions that are happening now, and there are crucifixions I fear are looming. But I believe, as I look back over my life, I've seen that happen over and over. Don't tell my Christian friends, but I don't know that it's that overarching theme is uniquely Christian. I think every time we're crushed, even personally, I mean, and there comes a time when the crushing is like lethal. But over my life, I've been crucified a bajillion times. I've come through the fire, but I've always come out on the other side. You know, there's always more life after that pain. There's more light after that dark night. So that's my personal source of hope. Is, you know, I look back behind me. Oh my gosh, it happened. It's happened 100 times, and I just believe it's going to keep happening. And I think it can happen for us, Lauren. It can happen for our congregations and our society and our communities. I think it can happen. But I don't. The trick is I don't know how. But I think oftentimes we don't know how. When we go into the dark night, we don't know how the light's going to come back, but it just does. Is that too Jesus-y for you?
No, that was phenomenal and extremely universal. I'm just thinking in your story, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anyone knew how it was going to go either. I don't know if Jesus knew how it would go in your story even, right?
I don't think he did. Again,
Right.
Don't tell anyone. Christians always say that he knew. I don't think he did.
Right. That's a more comforting message, right? The idea that we go forward not knowing, because that speaks to us. No, I think that was a beautiful message. I was laughing a little to myself in how beautifully you put it. And when you said, I think it's not uniquely Christian, because, you know, Jews say our whole story of every holiday, of everything we do, everything that drives us, is they tried to kill us. We survived. Let's eat. Right. And so, but that's the not so graceful way of saying the same thing, that
Yes.
there is rebirth. There is new hope. There's new life. There's new opportunity, even when things look dark. And I think it's a beautiful image to carry. I need to tinker with it to a way that it's not coming for myself, not coming out of Christian scripture and not Jewish tradition, because it's in Jewish tradition as well. But what a beautiful image. I was going to say one more thing, but I think that's the way to end that.
Good.
There's always that hopefulness, and part of it lies in relationship and in what that vision of what you're saying can happen, and continuing to talk and have real conversation and find reasons to love one another, right? I mean,
Lauren, you just gave me chills. I believe that so firmly, and it's just contrary to the culture that's being lifted up politically. It's true. What you just said is true. If we can figure out a way to link arms and clasp hands and make a circle,
make a protective circle. But that's what it is. It's a protective circle of what we hold dearest. And that's the same across all kinds of superficial boundaries. It really is.
Yeah.
So I'm thankful you're part of my circle.
I was just going to say, I'm so grateful that you're part of mine. And am wishing the best for Congregation Beth Adam and you. You're wonderful people, and it's good to be together.
Thank you for being with us. I'm sure we'll be bringing you back.
Well, I would love it. Thanks. Bye.
We continue now with our blessing for wine, our symbol of joy. Life is a wondrous gift. The mind observes with awe, and appreciation flows from the heart. Life's joyful bounties are unveiled. Such treasures abound in ordinary moments. A familiar face, the simplicity of a smile, tender kisses, the warmth and security of a hug, enchanting melodies, the grace of dance, the coolness of sculpted marble, a remarkable story. The complexity of atomic structure, thunder's reverberation, the shimmering of the rainbow, intoxicating rose petals. These moments become opportunities to affirm that which is good. As we lift our cups of wine, a tribute to life's enchantments, may we find joy and contentment in our human endeavors. Bruchim hachayim ba'olam, blessed is the life within the world. Bruchim hachayim ba'adam, blessed is the life within us. Thankful for this Shabbat and the many, many joys in our lives, we close with a Ladino song called Buen Shabbat. Ladino is a combination of Hebrew and Spanish. This song will sound more Spanish than Hebrew, and the words mean a good Shabbat with health and life, a good Shabbat for all the family, a good Shabbat with health and life, many years with peace and happiness. Here is Buen Shabbat, with thanks to my husband, Brian Kelly, for bringing us music throughout our services.
Buen Shabbat, cum salud y vida. Buen Shabbat a toda la familia. Buen Shabbat, con salud y vida. Años muchos con paz y alegría. Buen Shabbat, con salud y vida. Buen Shabbat a toda la familia.
May we know blessings those who are near. May we know blessings those who are far. May the Sabbath bring its goodness to everyone soon, wherever they are. May we know blessings through the day. May we know blessings through the night. May health be for our children. All things soon be right. May we know blessings in our comings. May we know blessings when we depart. May we live each day with peace and wisdom in each heart. May this Shabbat be for you a Shabbat of peace, a Shabbat filled with wisdom, a Shabbat filled with gratitude as we celebrate this Thanksgiving weekend. Thank you for joining us, and Shabbat Shalom.